Do people remember? It was on in one of the last rallies Donald Trump had. He had said, "You want to know how to cure depression? Work your ass off," and everybody clapped. And yeah, that doesn't work for somebody that's worked all their life but never has had enough money for a vacation. And he's right, but that's not always the case. And I'm bringing attention to this because part of the problem we have on the world stage right now is wanting to label everybody as one thing. So for Trump, to avoid depression, he works his ass off. Okay. For people that hate their job but have never had enough money to go on vacation or take vacation and live paycheck to paycheck, working their ass off is not going to help. So my point is that when we have science on a global level that's trying to put everybody in one box, that's the reason why things are worse now. I don't care how much schooling and education you have. That academia you have and all those letters after your name, they can mean a whole lot, but they mean nothing if you have no insight into yourself, if you have no self-awareness. And the people that got on board with Agenda 2030 are people that lack insight. They have a ton of letters after their name. They have a ton of education. They call themselves experts. But to me, to be an expert, well, the number one thing is you have to have self-awareness and insight. They don't have enough insight to realize that. Look at our nursing, medical, and science professional organizations. They've been around for hundreds of years, and yet in every one of those areas, things have gotten worse, and yet they don't see that they are the problem. That's a lack of insight. And people that lack insight, or that are control freaks in this case, and some people that go along with this because they lack insight, do stuff like this. Mm-hmm. This need to constantly, the science has boundary issues in many ways too, and it's because of the people running their profession, just like the people running my profession and the medicine. They all are just not insightful people. They all got on board with this Agenda 2030. And yet it's even down to having a gross national happiness. This has been going on in butane since 2012 or 11. Yeah, so I don't think the people measuring happiness should be the people that are at the World Economic Forum, or the people that come up with this. This to me, no, you're going to make people miserable doing shit like this. You will. And the very experts that have been pushing this global agenda, I work in psych, so the happiness index matters to me because I take care of people that are looking to be happy. And some, it's, faults of their own. They don't want to take any responsibility. That's a hard thing for a lot of people, everybody. There's a lot of different reasons, but there's people there that need help, okay? And yet, because all the corporations, all the hospital systems got on board with this shit with the UN and the World Economic Forum, my profession has never been worse. Here's the one thing that makes people happy that I have found in my own research is when you spend time with them. Especially somebody that's depressed, when you can make time for them just to listen. You don't have to have the answers. That goes so far. So far that you don't need all this bullshit. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of time. But this is put together, all this waste of time here, so that they can let you know these experts are trying to measure happiness in your country, and they want to make sure that everybody's happy. If the government is doing this stuff, do you think anybody's going to be happy? No. But these are the same people that have put America under this surveillance state system and then say it's for our own good, it's for our protection. No, it's just so the science can study you. And because the very experts at the head of all of the professional organizations of science, medicine, nursing, CDC, all of them, continue to go along this path And many of them know it's about control. It's not about you being happy. The World Economic Forum is not happy themselves. Money does not make you happy. Money, just when you're like them, those people at the World Economic Forum, they're just obsessed with control, power, and money. So money will give you comfort. It will not give you happiness. It can make you have less anxiety and have more, joyful moments. You can go on vacation. You could do a lot more things. But it will not bring happiness. The people that are not happy should not be trying to study happiness. Because what I see is the experts, they're not even happy. The professors in the unit, they're not happy either. The people heading up my profession, they may have 25 letters after their name. They're not happy. You know why? Because they base their whole identity on if they're an expert because of how many degrees they have. That's not going to lead to happiness. It's not. Being in the right ideology isn't going to make you happy. Having a whole lot of money isn't going to make you happy. But I'll tell you where you will find happiness in a very unhappy world many times is God. God. It's the end all be all. This is the chart. You could see America's considered the most happy. Yeah, that's how much the UN has been wanting to measure happiness. It's part of their sustainable development goals. The global national happiness, it's ridiculous. So the 9 domains of measuring the happiness is 1, psychological well-being, 2, material well-being, standard of living, 3, good governance, 4, health, 5, education, 6, community vitality, 7, cultural diversity and resilience, 8, balanced time use, 9, ecological diversity. Okay, so most of that shit isn't going to mean anything to the normal person. But to the people that have 25 letters after their name that got on board with this, to the World Economic Forum, to all the control freaks, this seems like, oh no, this is what science is doing. Look at this beautiful, beautiful chart they've come up with. Yeah, and what a total waste of time. It is. It is. The best way you can make people happy is leave them alone. Leave them alone. We don't need all of you people, but you won't stop because you want control. You people are the most unhappiest of all. You are the people, in my opinion, that got on board with this Agenda 2030 that really have, if you had insight, you would have never kept going on this track. But you likely think it doesn't matter. I'm just doing what I'm told. It doesn't matter if I'm a nurse or I'm a doctor. This is what we have to do. No, sometimes you need to stand up. So it's really disturbing that in psych, because all these corporate people are at the World Economic Forum, and yet they come up with the worst shit leadership where I work, anywhere really. It doesn't matter. They insult my intelligence when they do it. I can't stand it. It's like, stop insulting my intelligence. At least tell me that you're just a sellout and you think you're a leader because you have 25 letters after your name. But stop lying to people. Because this isn't going to help happiness. Does this help measure something? Sure, for the very science that all they ever want to do is study everybody. But if you really cared about people's happiness, then you'd leave people alone, or you would stop trying to take people into a global government. You wouldn't put a magnet of nursing in their governance goals in nursing. Or if you're going to, you would at least measure it properly and not based on how many letters somebody has after their name. Because as far as I can see, that isn't a good indicator of who gives good care. It can be, but it's not the only indicator. Not even close. The science has played a lot of games, and it goes back to this. Like I said in my last 2 videos, scientocracy, the tangled web of public science and public policy. That's what Agenda 2030 is all about. These are not the experts, and they're not expert for one of the biggest reasons, they don't have enough insight to see they are the problem. When you recognize you are the problem, then if you really want to fix things, then you remove yourself from the problem and let another leader take over. They don't, because It's all part of this problem.